this. The Buxton Fringe Festival starts on the 9th of July, not that far away now. It's one of the largest open access arts festivals in the country. Stephanie Billan, she is the marketing officer for the Buxton Fringe, and I spoke to her earlier about how big the festival is now.
It certainly is, yes. It's been growing over the years, and it's a big do now, yes.
And what kind of range do we have? I mean, there's bound to be some comedy.
There certainly is, and comedy is one of our largest sections with over 30 shows just for comedy. But we've also got, we suggest various categories to the entrance, and I'm happy to say there's something in every category. So we've got comedy, dance, film, a family section, lots of music, spoken word, street theatre, a huge amount of theatre, and also a very healthy visual arts section as well.
And when you talk about entrance, how long ago did you start to recruit people for this event?
I think it was December the 1st when the entry procedure happened. So we don't select. Anyone can enter the Fringe. Enter is a bit of Fringe jargon, really, but it means that we don't like the word apply because there's no selection process. Anyone can take part in the Fringe.
And do you feel then that you get some people who are kind of really maybe not that great?
Well, they're learning, but today's not that great experimental person might be tomorrow's big star, and that sort of thing does happen. So it's very exciting actually to see somebody at the beginning of their journey.
What's this about Sweary Joyce Grenfell then?
Well, apparently she does a lot of different characters, and I think the comparison is with Joyce Grenfell, who is a brilliant character comedian, but Claire is a bit more modern, so there's a bit more language in there. But she's one of several acts happening in a brand new managed venue called the Marketplace, which is well worth keeping an eye on.
And I think Joyce Grenfell would be a bit upset about her act being polluted with swear words.
Well, I don't think it's not a just transposition of Joyce Grenfell. I think that was just a comparison somebody made.
And what about the wildlife then? Theo the mouse is going to be making an appearance.
Yes, that's exciting because that's by the writer from the Sooty Show, Wink Taylor. So we're looking forward to that. And that's an example of one of our family shows.
And you've got a few stars then amongst these ordinary people who are trying to entertain us or will be entertaining us. Terry Christian.
Terry Christian, yes. Naked Confessions of a Recovering Catholic.
Ooh.
So
too much to talk about there, Stephanie.
I think we're going to have to wait and see, but that's going to be a good one, I reckon.
And homing in on the music then, quite a variety really, including, this caught my eye, the saxophone octet.
Yes, that's a nice thing, isn't it? Just all saxophones. And so it happens with music sometimes that we get, we've also got a recorder orchestra, which is all recorders. And I think it's something really different. But the music section has just got something for everybody. It really does. There's classical and jazz. And we've got an a cappella group all the way from South Africa called Simply Soweto Ensha. And they were last year brilliant. So we're really pleased to have them back again.
It's kind of gone around the world and even got in as far as American bluegrass.
Yes, we got American bluegrass, April in the Shower, that one is, yes, brilliant.
Wonderful. The theatre then, how does it work? Is it a bit like the Edinburgh Fringe where you can just have short hits of different types of theatre?
It is like that, yes. I mean, on the whole, shows tend not to last much more than an hour, so you can fit in quite a lot of shows in one day.
And what kind of theatre have you got then for Stephanie?
Well, I like some of this stuff happening in unusual venues. For example, we've got Dracula's Women Underground, which is actually being performed in Pool's Cavern in the Cave. That's from Butterfly Theatre. And we've also got some things happening in Scrivener's Bookshop as well, something quite spooky, whose name's just escaped me, but I'll find it. But there's very interesting stuff. Oh, I know, right, here we are, the Ghost Hunters Club from Cul-de-sac Theatre Company, and that's taking the whole of the bookshop from the cellar right up 5 floors.
How long has the Buxton Fringe been going then?
35 years.
And is it something that gets people not just to obviously experience a variety of entertainment, but to kind of go out into Buxton and explore it as well?
I think it does. Yes, we've even got something like storytelling walks through Grinlow Woods. So you don't even have to be stuck indoors. You can be finding your way around Buxton. It's really compact, so it's like a little mini Edinburgh, and you can walk all around Buxton. And it's lovely to do something like be in the Pavilion Gardens for. We have something called Fringe Sunday, which is absolutely free on the afternoon of July the 13th, and that's a little showcase of all the acts.
And is it quite easy to just drive there, rock up, and just see what's around, or do you need to book things in advance?
You don't have to book in advance. There are one or two things like there's close-up magic in the Palace Hotel. That's very, very popular, and it probably will sell out. There are a few things, but on the whole, you can rock up and book on. Everything has a different arrangement with tickets. So some of them you do just pay on the door. Other things you can book in advance.
Right. And how long does it go for? Just remind us of how long the festival is, Stephanie.
It's 2.5 weeks, so it's the 9th to 27th of July, and it happens at the same time as the Buxton Festival as well. So if you take the two together, there's really a huge amount going on in Buxton just during that month.
And are you good to go now then?
The programme's out. We've got our last committee meeting tonight before the whole thing happens. We're very lucky to have a lot of support in the town. We're sponsored by the University of Derby, but we also have financial support from the council and the Trevor Osborne Group, and we have a lot of support in kind from all our different venues. So, yeah, we're good to go.
And it must be a big slog for the economy in Buxton, this event.
Yes, I think we worked out that it helps to contribute over £500,000 to the local economy when you look at the spend from audiences, but also from performers, because, of course, they're coming into town and booking in B&Bs and things and spending money in restaurants.
Stephanie Billen, she's the marketing officer for the Buxton Fringe, which starts on the 9th of July. And if the weather's like this, it'll be fantastic, won't it?